Technical Lesson 10. And we'll begin tonight with an intention, as we normally do. In our world, there is desire and its physical manifestation, called action. For example, one wants to receive something, but he does not allow himself to perform the physical act of taking. Meanwhile, his desire to take remains the same. In the spiritual world, there are no bodies, only bare desires. Therefore, the desire itself already constitutes action, like an already completed mental and physical action in our world. Therefore, the desire alone determines man's spiritual state. It's a quotation from the Zohar, page 84. And now Lesson 10, Absolute and Bia. As mentioned earlier, the world of Absolute is quite similar to the world of Nicodim. The first parsuf of the world of Absolute, which is Atik, comes out on the reshamo of Aleph Shorish, in the Katnut at first, from Tibur to Parsa. Then it spreads in the Gatlut, all the way to our world, on the reshamo of Dalet Gimel. It is the only parsuf by means of which the light can shine in our world. We do not see or feel this light, but it shines and drives us forward. Whoever ascends from our world to below Parsa, where the worlds Beria, Yetzirah, and Asiya are located, is called a righteous man. In Hebrew, Zadok, or a Kabbalist.
What in the world is all that? Welcome to the Sunday night technical lesson, the Petiha lesson. Everyone will remember that Petiha is another word for preface or introduction, that kind of a thing. Really what it is, this is an introduction to Petiha. Do we have one? No? Book Petiha? It's an introduction to an introduction. A lot of you came to Congress. You'll remember Dave. He's going to be helping me up here.
Hello, everyone.
And the Congress was just great. It was super. We had a lot of people, several hundred people there. For those of you that did come, thank you, Judy. This is Petiha. And those of you at Congress, you saw it there. Petiha is basically the introduction to Talmud Esser Sfirot. It is a general overview of spirituality, the construction of spirituality. What's there? We don't normally think of spirituality when we first start as it's true what it really is. We have our own imaginations and ideas and, that type thing. And we get confused because different things tell us one thing religious. Some religion tells us this. Maybe another religion is in contrast to it and tells us something else. But, of course, this incredible study here, I get to find out, that's the perk, what's really there. The bad news is, it's not the easiest thing in the world because it's like trying to tell a Martian what a doghouse is when it has no clue what
the dog is.
What's a dog?
Yeah.
So it's a problem,
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This first part, what are we talking about here? You all will remember. Do we have something under here? Oh, we do. Did you put that there? You all will remember the 4 phases of direct light. So we're in first restriction and all that. We're not going to go through that. We're going to start at Galgalta. And Sag. Okay, now, what they're telling us here, as I mentioned earlier, the word of absolute is quite similar to the world of Nicodemus. You'll remember the world of Nicodemus. What happened was that as the Reshimat, as the light began to exit the Parsuf Sag, it goes out in stages. It goes in stages of Avyud, just what it's going to exit out of. It's going to exit from the first level of Avyut all the way down and to the fourth level. And we know that these stages are divided into sections. One of them is section 2. And from the 4 phases of direct light, we know that this level of desire is 3-2. We also know that level 2 is the desire, the quality of Bina, right?
Right.
Bina is the desire to do what the Creator does, the desire only to bestow, not to receive a thing. Do you want? No. How about no? Well, will you take? No. And so we have both a desire for this and we have the light that fulfills that vessel. Same match here. So, you all will remember that here's the tabur where the light cannot go. Everything below this, in this area, called the Sof, has tremendous, huge desires. Desires of the level 4-3. Just massive desires. And what's going to happen is, going to get to this point where this desire is level 2-2. And what we're going to do is, all of a sudden, the Partsu is going to say, no, wait.
I can do it.
I think I can do it.
I can do it.
Because it's all light of Hasadim, light of bestowal. We can send that light down here. We can get that below the tabur. Right?
Right.
So, what are we going to do? We're going to take that light. And we're going to build a Partsuf down here with 10 Sfirot. Keter, Hakma, Bina, Hesed, Gevura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, and Malchut. Malchut, the bottom Sfirot. Light comes down, enters the Partsuf. It goes all the way down to right in the middle of Tiferet. Now here's the problem. From Keter all the way down to the middle of Tiferet are all the vessels of bestowal.
Correct.
And what's below the vessels of bestowal?
Vessels of reception.
So, it has this terrible sensation that it's going to be receiving for the wrong reason. Now everyone remember, and if you watched the terminology class, we got into this just a little bit, because the vessels of reception are the whole problem in this deal. What's going on here is that the vessels of reception want to receive in such a manner as just give me pleasure, but when that happens in the creature, it feels shame because it also knows what it's like to bestow, and it feels its quality is opposite. So Malchut says, no, we don't want that in the actual creature. It says no, and it makes a restriction. So, a dividing line is drawn here, and it says, nope, I'm not going to take in any more light below this point of Tiferet, this middle third of Tiferet. Because if I do, I will accept it egoistically. What's going to happen next? It's going to build an actual full-blown world called Nikudim. But the strange part about this world is it's not going to last very long. It falls apart almost as fast as it's put together.
It's created. Yep.
Right. In this first section here, it's going to come out in Gadlut. In other words, it's going to be a zivug in the Rosh. And as you all remember, we have in the Rosh, Keter, Hakma, Bina, Zerampen, and Malchut, part of the Rosh too, right? And what's going to happen here is it's going to say, okay, no. We have two parts. We have vessels of bestowal,
GE.
and
Vessels of a hop. Reception.
exactly. And it's going to say, you know what, we're not going to make that zivug on these vessels down here. No, these are out. We're going to make that zivug for light right there. Right there. In the middle of Bina. And so what does that do? That gives us light from here to here. In this section. And when light is only in that section, it's called
Catnut.
Catnut.
State of catnut.
Okay? Now, interesting thing's going to happen, and that's what we read here, that the Parsuf of the world of Absolute, a tik comes out of the Reshimot of Aleph Shorish. What would Aleph Shorish be? Aleph would be a quality of light of 1. Shorish is a quality of desire of 0. No desire at all. So it's the weakest thing that can possibly be. Hit leb shoot level 1. In other words, the quality of the light is level 1. The quality of the desire is 0. In Catnut, smallness from the tabur to the parsa. So what's going to happen here? A decision's going to be made. You know what? That worked out great.
Mm-hmm.
No problems.
Correct.
So let's give it a shot and see what happens if we get it all the way down here. And guess what? It does the same thing. Yes, we have vessels of bestowal and vessels of reception. But in this case, I need to draw this little white tape. In this case, it says, no. We're going to go all the way down here. Even include a zivug on the vessels of reception. And so the light comes right on down. This time, through the parsa. And when it does, anything from Keter and Chokmah down breaks. All of this. Actually, Keter, Chokmah, and the upper half of Bina.
William's asking a question.
What's he saying?
Says, William's asking, can it be said that we in this generation are seeing the action of that Parsuf Atik? Is this what brings the increase in wanting to awaken?
No. The Parsuf Atik is actually already there. Everything is already in place in spirituality. Atik, Eric Anpin, Aviv Ima, Mommy and Daddy, those of you that wonder. All the entire system. Zer Anpin, Malchut, Bria, Yetzirah, Asiyah. It's all there. It's all smack dab right there in spirituality waiting on us. Right now. Now, you have to remember that what are worlds and levels? You know, everyone thinks, oh, a world like this world, what's a place? It's like, you know, what might be going around Jupiter or something. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be something. But in truth, it's a level of concealment. All of these are basically levels of concealment that conceal the creature more and more and more from the Creator or the pleasure from doing what the Creator does, so the Creator has the option to do it on its own. It can actually make its own decision without any kind of coercion, because if it knows in advance that this is something holy, hey, I want to be holy. Right? Mm-hmm. So, what am I going to do? So, what's going to happen here? When this all breaks, there's going to be a Parsuf that's going to come out on, this level of 1, 0. Head left shoot aviyut, or in other words, the quality of the light, the quality of the desire. This Parsuf is going to go all the way from the tabur to the siyum, and it's going to be called atik. Then it spreads into Gadlut. Then it spreads into Gadlut, all the way to our world on the Reshimot of Dalet Gimel. That caused the breaking. It is the only Parzuf by means of which the light can shine in our world. Whoever ascends from our world to below Parsa, where the worlds Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya are located, is called a righteous man, in Hebrew, tzaddik, or Kabbalist. So what do we have here is we have the circumstance to where we actually have three worlds. We have the world of Atzilut. We have Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. Now, a person that ascends into this area, through the worlds of Bia, is called a righteous man or a Kabbalist. Yeah?
Yeah.
What do we got?
What do we got? Question. Paracella from Toronto. Mike, when you saw decide to make a decision in this technical lesson, really who decides in spirituality? Is it our consciousness or something else?
So what she's actually asking is
You saw decide.
when you saw decide, I think what she's trying to ask us, Dave, is when I do something, anything, teach this, what? Who's doing the deciding here?
Is it my choice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really my choice? Gee, I don't know. What do you think? It's a problem, isn't it?
It's a problem, yeah.
That's a tough one. Everyone thinks, yeah, I have freedom of choice. Look, I'm going to elect to pick up a different color pen. A purple one. And I did that all on my own, didn't I? It's obvious. I did that. I made the choice. It all appears to us that way, doesn't it? It all looks like that's exactly what's happening. That this guy that you see on the screen just made a decision all on his own when I decided, like she said, when you made the decision that this is what happened. But really, who decides in spirituality? What's really happening here? What's the real deal? Is it our consciousness or something else? You can call it your consciousness because what is consciousness? Consciousness is a movie that's playing out before my eyes. And by the way, I'm in it. What am I really? I'm the point in the heart. I'm that single tiny little point that observes. Although I detect this level of will to receive, called the human level of the animalistic level, as me. And I see other little parts of it everywhere. And I also see the still level, that like we went over in the last time. And then there's my ficus that I see on the plant level. Yeah? Let's continue reading for a little bit.
It is important to note that Parzuf Atik spreads not only to the Parsa in order to pass on light to other parts of Fame of the world of Absolute, but below the Parsa as well. Since Atik is in Zimzum Aleph, this Parzuf is able to spread everywhere, and when it is below the Parsa, it lights up the souls of the righteous who want to ascend to the world of Absolute. Being in the worlds of Bia, of Berea, Yetzirah, Asiya, means giving for the sake of bestowal, while being in the world of Absolute means receiving for the sake of bestowal. The next Parzuf, Eric Anpin, or Hakma, comes out in Katnut. After this Parzuf, Abba Ve'ima is born. Then Parzuf Zir Anpin, and finally Malkut is born in the form of a point. The Ahops of the 5 Partsufim of the world of Absolute are the Kalim de Kabbalah, the vessels of receiving. The latter are to be restored and corrected. The world of Absolute is the only world that we study. Our world, our study of the other worlds is limited only to the point by which they are related to the world of Absolute. Our aim is to ultimately raise all the souls to Absolute. Partsuf Eric Anpin wraps itself up with many different coverings which are called sirat, or hair, similar to the hair on the head of the human body. The first 3 Partsufim of the world of Absolute came out of the Reshemot of Rosh, of the world of Nicodim. Zir Anpin of the world of Absolute is called HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which means the Holy One, blessed be He. Malkut of the world of Absolute is called Shekinah, the aggregation of all the souls. All the names, including the names of personages mentioned in the first 5 books of the Bible, spring from the world of Absolute. And those personages in the worlds of Bia are all the same under the control of the world of Absolute. The world of Absolute does not let through any light below the Parsa, apart from a tiny ray of light called Or Tolada. This minute light is what allows us to feel the tiny pleasures that we feel in this world. How are the Ahops that are located below the Parsa corrected? They are illuminated with a powerful light by which they see how they differ from the Creator. They then wish to improve themselves and apply to the Partsuf located above, which for them is the Creator. They ask for the feature of bestowal, or a masach, a screen. If the request coming from the Ahop is authentic, the Partsuf located above lifts it out of the worlds of Bia and into the world of Absolute. The filling with light only takes place in the world of Absolute. Ahops in the worlds of Bia are actually the 7 Sfirot of Zir Anpin and the 9 lower Sfirot of Malkut in the world of Absolute. This is because the vessels of bestowal, the Golgotha V'Yanayim, of Zir Anpin, and the Sphira of Keter of Malkut are in the world of Absolute. The request for help ascends to Ahops of Zir Anpin and Malkut located in the worlds of Bia. If these Sphirot can be lifted and attached to the corresponding Sphirot of the worlds of Absolute, then it will be possible to fill them with light. Such a condition is called Gemar Tikkun, the end of
lazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
think about it. What are we actually saying here? What did they eat back then? If they got a piece of onion, it was great. If they had a fish, it was an absolute gourmet meal. A lot of people lived in caves. Some lived in barns, generally with their animals inside. That would have been nice in Aramaic. As desire grows, what do you see? You see technological advances? Yeah, where do those come from? I want to live better. I want to enjoy more stuff.
New ways for pleasure.
Yeah, sure. New ways to make my life better, to make me feel better. Desire grows. So what do we have here? We have a period of time in this state of concealment where everything is being developed in this state of concealment to prepare us for when this entire parsuf is going to get corrected, called Adam. And what's so special about it? Why did this parsuf called Adam Havrashan break? Why? There's got to be a reason. Why not just, it was created in Kadnut, then it went into Gadlut. What's going to happen? It's going to try to get light below to its vessels of reception. What are those called? Eve. What's going to happen? It's going to have to leave the Garden of Eden, which happens to be a part of spirituality.
Well, if it isn't.
So now it's got a problem. But it has a good problem. It has a problem that was an absolute requirement in order to be able to bring this Malchut of Ein Sof to correction. And that is, when it broke, what happened? Think about this in the world of Nikudim. What happened? As I said, all the vessels dropped, right?
Right.
And what we studied 2 weeks ago, all the vessels dropped. In other words, we have two kinds of vessels. We have GE up here, and we have a hop down here. Now remember, this is vessels of bestowal, this is vessels of reception, and what's going to happen here? What's going to happen is that they're going to mingle together. If we have vessels of bestowal here and vessels of reception here, now all of a sudden what you've got is this. And every now and then what you've got is this. So what you have is a mingling. You have vessels of Galgalta V'Anayim. You have vessels of a hop. You have vessels of Galgalta V'Anayim that have a hop in them, and you've also got vessels of a hop that have Galgalta V'Anayim in them. In other words, what have you done? You have mixed the qualities of the creature and the Creator. That enables this part down here that had no way of getting corrected. Now it does, because now these parts that are parts of the Creator are going to want to raise back up to their original state, to seek their spiritual root. And what in the world is that going to do? What does that require? You saw it here, that they make a request. In Hebrew is called bakasha. It's a request. What are they requesting? They rise to make a request for light of correction. To correct all of these broken vessels down here. What's a request?
Prayer.
A prayer. What is a prayer?
A desire.
A desire. I can't fake it.
It has to be true.
Has to be the real thing. It has to be what I truly want. It can't be that I'm saying something with my mouth and at the same time I am wanting something different. Whatever is the deepest desire, my true desire in my heart right now is my prayer, my request. What do we got in questions?
Questions. Joseph from Montreal. What are the 613 desires of the will to receive?
Spiritual desires, there are 248 of those desires that are vessels of bestowal called GE. And there are 365 vessels of reception. Now here's something strange. 365, you know what that looks like to me? I know that number.
Yeah, it's a familiar number.
Yeah.
365 days.
We'll talk about that. Next question.
Louis from Chile.
Oh, Yud Hey Vav Hey?
Yud Hey
Okay,
Vav
Yud Hey Vav Hey.
Yud
Okay.
Hey Vav. Are they...
Louise from Chile wants to know about Yud Hey Vav Hey. Are the correct name to the Creator? Yes. Again, Louise, you're thinking of this wrong. We went through actually Yud Hey Vav Hey quite a while back when we went through the 4 phases of direct light. But if you're wondering what it actually is, it's actually this entire system of creation that the Creator created. It is the process of creation. It's everything. Yud Kei Vav Kei. It isn't what you think in terms of pronunciation and that type of thing. We don't pronounce it other than Yud Kei Vav Kei out of respect to our friends that are in the Jewish religion, because it is against their rules in the religion. So it isn't a correct name or a correct pronunciation. Yud Kei Vav Kei is literally the tip of the Yud. Yud Kei Vav Kei is the blueprint for all of creation. Everything. From the Creator's initial thought of creation all the way down to where we are now. What else we got?
Carol from Fort Worth, Texas. Does this correction happen in real time? Or did it happen at the moment of our creation and we just learned to realize it?
Real time. Well, that brings up a whole new hour and a half lesson, actually.
What is real time?
What is real time? What is real time? Is this going to happen in real time, or is this like, something that I can tape on my DVD or maybe play it back later? We don't want to get into time, actually, but let's put it that no. Here's the problem, Carol. Everything's already broke. This didn't happen at the moment of creation from our perspective, only from the Creator's perspective, and you can't go there. To the Creator, the end result is in the initial thought. So the Creator had an initial thought, and wham, it's already done. It's already completed. This is going to be a hard one because this is that problem with time that we're talking about. We have a sensation of time in the deal, not the Creator. So you have to ask, whose time are you talking about, Carol?
From whose perception?
Yeah, from whose perception? I think that was a Spanish question.
Oh, is it? I don't know what this was. Okay, sorry.
Well, that wasn't good, was it? Nah, shoot.
Okay.
Knock him out.
Sorry.
Who's next?
Madian from Philly.
She's from Spain. She's the lady from Spain that
Oh,
came
really?
to Congress. That's Madian.
Well, hello. Hi. Yeah. We met. Are the 125 steps of the ladder distributed among all these worlds of Atik? Are the steps below Absolute? And how do we keep the count if they are?
One step at a time. Where are all these 125 steps? What are the 125 steps? Well, if you all will remember, we have 5 worlds, right? We have the world of Adam Kadmon. We have the world of Absolute. We have the world of Bria. We have the world of Yetzirah. We have the world of Asiya. Next, in each one of those, we have five Parsufim, right? For instance, in Adam Kadmon, we have Galgalta, Ab, Sagma, and Ban. And then, in addition to that, in the world of Atik, we have Atik, Erka, Ampin, Abba, Ve'ima, Zerampin, and Malchut. And then in each one of those Parsufim, we have 5 Sfirat, Keter, Chokmah, Bina, Zerampin, and Malchut. So you have 5 worlds times 5 Parsufim times 5 Sfirat. This is 125 steps. This is the whole deal, all the way back up to here. Because this is the world of Adam Kadmon. Here's the world of Absolute. Here's the world of Bria, Yetzirah, Asiya. Each one of these have 5, and this one is Galgalta, Ab, Sagma, and Ban. And here it's something different. Keter, Ab, Ve'ima. Okay? Yes.
Yes.
Great. Actually, Keter, Chokmah, Ve'ima. It's one thing that is difficult to understand at first is you're going to hear the same structure again for this area that you hear for this area. In other words, you've got a miniature Atzilut in Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya in structure. And that's what's going to be able to help us. The fact that we do have that similar structure.
Madian also asked, so is there concealment in spirituality all the way until Gemar Tikkun is reached?
No. Yes, but not total concealment. How does it work, Madian? Let's take a look at it. This is kind of cool, too. I like this part. How does this still work? Talk about concealment here a minute. Okay, we'll do it the U.S. way instead of like Rav, because I'll be reading backwards again, and then I get real confused. Okay, here is where I am in 100% concealment, Madian. And that depends on my screen. I have 0 screen here, and the Creator has 100% screen. I myself have 0%. If I reach, say, this level of spirituality, someone's providing a screen. Is it me or the Creator? In this particular instance, let's say that I have 20% of the screen, and the Creator provides the other 80%. Right now, the Creator is providing 100% here in corporeality, which would be right here. But now I'm in a circumstance to where, okay, I've got enough masak that it's allowing me this much perception of spirituality. Now, if I conceal more of it myself, if my masak gets larger, thicker, now it might be a 50-50 deal. 50% on the Creator's side, nah, pretty good deal. And 50% on my side. So, everything changes. Every time that screen develops differently, my perception is going to change. Let's go on.
More questions?
Yeah, why not?
Juan from Jordan. What's double concealment?
What's double concealment?
Double concealment. Double concealment is when we don't even know things happen and we don't even know there is a creator. No perception, no idea. Things just happen and we don't realize there is even a giver, a creator in this picture. That's double concealment. Single concealment is what you talked about earlier, when things happen and you realize there's a creator doing this, you feel that, but you can't really relate to it with everything. You know, wars happen, these bad things happen, and okay, there's a creator, I understand that, but how could he be doing these terrible acts as we see it? That's single concealment.
So what you're saying then, what you're telling us is that in the first case, not only do I not know that the Creator does good all the time, but also that I don't even know the Creator does.
Right.
What Creator? What I do know is I'm concealed from a whole bunch of stuff, and that's it, right?
Right.
Yeah, something's missing in this picture. Hey, I take off the hood. I can't see. It's black in here, right?
Right.
Oh, Jasmine, wasn't she at the Congress?
I
In
don't know.
Pennsylvania? I think so. I think Jasmine was there. We had a Jasmine there.
Hello, Jasmine. Jasmine asks, okay, so will this desire move us across Moksum gradually or from one moment to another instantly?
It's a good question.
It is a good question.
It depends on what you're talking about, Jasmine. Are you talking about spiritual development that you're in concealment of, that you can't tell is happening? Or are you talking about your own perception of what it's like? You're always developing, but it's in concealment, and you can't tell that. What's going to happen? What's going to happen from that development point is going to develop and develop and develop and develop and develop. In one moment, in a given moment, it will go from concealment to no concealment, from no perception to perception. But it's just like that to you. It just, one moment none, the next moment nothing but. It's a gradual process. But we can't detect it, so we don't know it's gradual. Yeah.
Another question?
Yeah, why not? A lot of them tonight.
Yeah, a lot of questions. Pablo from Atlanta. I've had a bad weekend. Everything appears to be bad, and I agree. I am looking and getting the worst signals. But what should I do?
Oh, I feel bad. Had a bad weekend. Lost my job. Ran over the cat. Bad stuff. What do I do? It's not going to help you. It's not going to make you feel better, Pablo. What's in front of you, you already felt. It's too late. Whatever happened, happened, and I feel bad. What, you're going to fake yourself out now that you don't feel bad? Are you wanting some fix to the deal, maybe? Hey, give me something that, where I can feel better. Or maybe it's different than that, Pablo. Maybe it's like, how in the world do I use this desire in order, even though I feel bad, how can I use this? Can I recognize what's going on here? Yes, everything went wrong, but can I recognize the fact that I'm in concealment? That yes, I still have to handle the problem as it appears to me. A judge only has what his eyes see. Don't have any option in that. But can I make it through this somehow? Do my work to do it, to fix the problem in this world, in corporeality, but at the same time, connect it with what's happening here. Because if a truck runs over my foot, spirituality is not going to miracle the bones back together that it just crushed. I'm going to have to go to the hospital for that one. Pablo, there's nothing I can do about it. But do I connect it with the Creator or not? And if I do, then what can I say? I can say, number one, certainly not everything the Creator does is good. I got a broken foot here. And the second thing is, I think the truck did it. I'm not buying this Creator stuff. In other words, I'm in double concealment with regard to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that mean I don't go to the doctor? No, that's not what it means. Go to the doctor. Get your foot fixed. Yeah?
Blame the truck driver.
You bet. Sue the truck driver.
Martha from Florida. So if spirituality only deals with higher life, how do we incorporate our daily life here on earth in the desire to attain a higher realm?
In other words, how can I go to work and advance through my work? How can I go out into an environment that tells me that money is important, or that this is important, or that is important, or something else is important, and advance from that? Sorry, Martha, you can't. It's impossible. The only way that I advance in my daily life is the amount of time after my necessities are met, after I've taken care of the things that I must take care of. I have to take care of my kids, Martha. I got to take care of my spouse, Martha. I've got to go to work every single day. I have to take care of my own bodily needs. I have to wash. I have to eat. Have to sleep. All this stuff. Past what is a necessity to me, Martha. The time that I devote to drawing the light that reforms, that changes me. What does it mean, the light that reforms? It means light. It means some kind of force that changes me somehow. That makes me change. What in the world can possibly cause that? What kind of force? I don't see it. I don't smell it. I don't feel it. This is the force that I'm after, but I don't stop my life in corporeality and my necessities that I must get done in order to be able to do that. I can't. I have to meet those obligations. So, Martha, why would you want to incorporate it in your daily life? What are you getting out of that? That you'll be able to drink tea in order to please the Creator? There's no reason for anything to be corrected here. There's no spiritual act here. What do I mean? If I'm seeing tea, what Creator? That's a concealment. More?
Carlos, New Jersey. Do you have attained these levels of growth? Not exactly sure.
Do you have to attain these levels of growth? Yes, Carlos, everybody has to attain them. Everybody. No one has a choice in this. And what do I mean by everybody? The soul, actually not the soul, but the potential of the soul, the point in the heart, the desire to do what the Creator does that will grow into a parsuf, into a soul. It dresses and redresses as many times as it needs to in order to accomplish the goal, in order to attain the ability to do what the Creator does. But at some point, Carlos, all the way through one lifetime, all within one lifetime, it has to do the whole thing, has to complete the whole 9 yards. From ground zero all the way up. Choose all the way by itself to attempt to attain the qualities of the Creator all the way through to the end of correction, of its own correction. Yes?
Yes.
We only got 5 minutes left, so we won't finish that. Let's do a couple more questions.
Okay.
And then we'll...
Paracella from Toronto. Then why can't we see it? The reality of there is no one besides him. When do I get there?
December the 16th at...
Well, she's close then.
Yeah! By the way, you're...
When do I get there?
Yeah, it's 2018. Yeah. No, what we have here is a situation to where one has the desire to feel it but doesn't understand why they don't. Why they don't is because these vessels that they need in order to feel anything spiritual, they're called vessels of bestowal. Actually, spiritual vessels, these spiritual desires, those are what's in concealment. And those aren't what one wants. One wants to see it here. Show me in these vessels. I'm perceiving right now. Okay, these are the ones I want to perceive it in. Do it here. And the Creator says, nope. Pass. Wrong vessels. You can't do it. So, it's like looking at the Creator and say, yes, the cap is red. Now, Creator, I want to smell the color red. Well, now, maybe somewhere there's this sense that allows one to smell the color red that they can develop if they want. But here's the problem. I don't have that puppy now. And I can sniff that baby all day long, and what I smell is plastic, not a color. I don't have the right vessel for it. So that's the first thing you have to do, Parasala. You have to attain the vessels in order to be able to sense spirituality. That means drawing the light that reforms. What else you got? Something interesting there?
Pete from Colombia. Mike, is this whole process done over several incarnations? Or is it done in one corporeal life?
Golly, great question, Pete. Long way from Colombia.
Yeah.
Wow. Pete, it's already been happening over many incarnations. The soul has been changing and changing. And Pete, it isn't that you've been here before. It's this soul that's in concealment inside this will to receive corporeal thing that's been here before. What is Kabbalah? What is this process? It's when one stops sensing their self, the I, as this thing, this corporeal flesh and blood thing, and begins sensing it from the soul. That this corporeal flesh and blood thing that we call Mike is clothing. Because this thing's going to die and go away. It is finite. It's getting older by the second. Real old.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
There's a problem here. What are we going to do? It is only through the sensation of that switch. What is the switch? What is the point in the heart? It's the desire to do what the Creator does. What does that mean? It has to do with and only with spiritual desires. Where did we have that earlier? Was it all the way back here? Yeah, this was back in the other course. When we have corporeality and spirituality, the desires of bestowal and desires of reception. And here we are down here, the point in the heart, the desire to do what the Creator does that fell down into corporeality. It's the only part of a person that's spiritual. It's the only part of a person that's eternal. That's it. That's all there is. So I've got to grow this thing by my own choice, Pete. That's it, by my own choice. And is it done in one corporeal life? It has to be done in one corporeal life, one corporeal lifespan. I have to awaken. I have to. The soul has to. Right from the get-go, as a baby, and begin growing, going through all the steps it normally would, and however it has to do that, and become an adult soul. You don't have a choice in this, Pete. No one has a choice in this. It's what you exist for. It answers the question of, what is the meaning of my life? Friends, I do believe that there is, as far as I know, is this correct, Sandy, a lesson on Wednesday with Tony? I'm almost sure there is. But please do check the calendar to make sure if there's any change in that. I'm also pretty certain that we are having a lesson this Sunday evening, this coming Sunday after Thanksgiving. So it's 8:31. Let's go ahead and shut her down for the night. You have a lot of questions here, folks, so please take your question, just do a cut and paste it to the forum. Dave will answer questions for you. I'll answer questions for you. Tony will answer for you. Our moderators, Igal. And certainly don't waste that. Don't waste these beautiful questions, because they help others, and that's the whole goal. We wish you all well, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.